Peace, what is up? It's Young Metroverse here, back in today with another video. Today's video is going to be about acceptance, things I've learned about acceptance, and how acceptance is really one of the biggest lessons that I've learned in my life. It's something that I've been going through recently. I've been having to work on acceptance because something happened in my life that I really don't want to accept, that I really don't want to be true, and I'm having a hard time accepting it. So it's taught me a lot along the way. I made a really big mistake 2 years ago, deleted all my YouTube videos and all my hard drive files, and when I was in a weak moment, and I really don't want to accept it because I really still want those videos to be there. I just had a weak moment and I deleted them all. So I'm having to really work on radical acceptance because I likely won't be able to get them back, so I have to learn to live with not having them. And since not having them, my level of happiness is so much less. It's got me super depressed, so I have to learn to live with it, like a new normal in a sense. And it's teaching me a lot of acceptance. So the first thing I've learned about acceptance is that it might come into your life at a time when you're not expecting it. You might not want to have something happen outside of your control, but something might happen that pushes you to a place where you have to learn how to accept something even if you don't want to. And that's the hardest thing for me, is like, before that I had things in my life like that, but like I was able to really push past a lot of my issues and find true happiness. But then I had a big enough event happen in my life that I really just don't want to accept, that it's made it really hard to move on. So it's given me no choice but to learn how to kind of move forward from where I'm at. So that's the first thing. The second thing I've learned about acceptance is that it takes a lot of hard work to actually accept something when you don't want to. Because I fight in my head and I think about what ifs almost every day. And I think it's hard to not think of what ifs when you go from a good to a bad situation and you're constantly thinking about how it was before. That's what I do a lot. So that's the second thing about acceptance, is it's probably going to be pretty hard to accept something if you really don't want to. If something happened to you, like you had something tragic happen to you that you don't want to accept, and you just are so mad that it happened. Like, that's the real challenge, is when you're in that situation. There's a lot about acceptance that I've learned, but I've just realized it's kind of they're tough lessons. Because usually when you have to accept something that you don't want to accept, and you don't want something to be that way, it's usually not something that you would prefer. Like, it's usually something that's really unfavorable, but you still have to learn how to accept it anyway. And that's the hardest part, is it changes you as a person when you go from feeling like you have pretty much full control of your life then to something happening and it changes the course of your life to where you feel like you lose control. Like, that radical acceptance is a really hard piece there, is when you feel like you're not in control anymore because something happened outside of your control that you can't change, and now you're like, oh, why do I have to be going through this? So it's just something that, it's a constant struggle every day to figure it out, but with time, I want to say it'll get easier, but to me that hasn't been the case. It's just kind of a constant effort to maintain it. So I think it just takes more willpower to live in that state of acceptance. The fourth thing I realized about acceptance is, one thing though, is that when you've come to a place of accepting something and you have to accept something as your new normal because of what happened, it is kind of freeing in a sense, because you're like, all right, well, this sucks, but I kind of have to accept it. There's not much you can do. You can kind of let yourself off the hook. But, it still sucks to go through nonetheless. Just that's one somewhat positive aspect of it. But even then, I find it hard to find the positives of these things that I'm going through, so I don't want to be biased. Well, I am being biased, I guess, because I'm going through a situation that I don't want to accept. And it sucks to go through, so it is kind of biased coming from that place. But that's just a few things I've learned about acceptance and a few examples of what acceptance has taught me, kind of tough lessons. Not very positive things, but just things I've learned about it. And if you're in a situation where you have to accept something that you really don't want to, you probably understand what I mean by these examples. And if you're in that situation, hopefully you're able to figure something out, and hopefully it gets better. That's about it for now. I just wanted to check in for another quick video. More videos coming soon. Young Metroverse. Peace.